you know, most of them would look at it and they're spitting images.
They're pretty accurate.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's amazing. How the faces are just amazing. They're just amazing. But Art Knight would be, and it wasn't only village people on here either.
Yeah.
Carl DeSantis did not live in the village.
Right.
Some of these other people did not live in the village.
I think you, Darlene, and John Strong are the only ones I see that are still.
Kicking? Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, Walt Reed.
Yeah, huh?
Walt Reed. Isn't that Walt Reed?
Yeah.
Carl DeSantis is still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, Carl's still alive. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Did it get you on there?
That's true.
I can still admire.
Well, we'll call the meeting to order, and this is a special meeting of the village board for the purposes of opening up a public hearing on our 23-24 village budget. The village budget is originally prepared by the mayor acting as budget officer and then is discussed at a budget workshop with all members of the village board. I'll just touch some highlights and then open up the meeting for any questions anybody might be attending here in person and by Zoom. The village budget this year includes, in the general fund, includes expenditures of $6,484,510. This is a decrease from the previous year of $6,834,963. At the same time, while village spending has gone down, revenues collected from outside sources other than village taxpayers has gone up from $4,296,062 to $4,714,952. This leaves a total of $1,269,558 to be raised from the taxpayers of the village of Lake George. This is a remarkable small amount when you're operating with a budget of over $6 million to have that amount to be raised from the village taxpayers. The bottom line, which you'll find at the end of the budget, is that the village board tonight is presenting a tax rate that will decrease from $5.79 per thousand of assessed valuation down to $4.76, or a decrease of $1.03 per thousand of assessed valuation in the village. That means that a home assessed at $250,000 in the village of Lake George will see a decrease in their out-of-pocket bills for this year of $257. Likewise, a building assessed at $500,000 will see a decrease of $515, and a property assessed at $5 million, of which the village has a few, will see a decrease of $5,150. This tax rate is lower than the tax rate was 11 years ago, when the tax rate was $6.04 a thousand, following a reevaluation by our assessor. It includes in the budget a modest increase for trustees, the first increase in over 15 years. It includes a new automobile, a new truck, and a backhoe in the Department of Public Works. It includes a new truck in the sanitation department. It includes increased revenue to put aside for a new aerial ladder in the Lake George Volunteer Fire Department. And it includes an average of 4% increase in wages for all departments throughout the village. It also includes support of the Lake George Teen Center, the Lake George Community Band, the Lake George Arts Project, the Lake George Park Commission, and the Lake George Chamber of Commerce. The three largest single line items in the village budget is employee benefits at $845,206. The village's debt service of $948,965 a year. And maintenance and expenses connected to the wastewater treatment plant of $1,058,000. Our revenues remain to be extraordinary. Sales tax is included at $660,000, an increase of approximately 10% over the past couple of years. Occupancy tax is estimated at $350,000, an increase of almost 20% over the past several years. Sharing services with the town is a tremendous impact on the village budget, with the town of Lake George contracted to pay the village of Lake George $948,128 a year. And our parking meter revenues continue at over $1.3 million. There is no anticipated change in our water rates throughout the village or the town of Lake George for 23-24. On August 15th, 2022, the village board elected to pass a resolution indicating that we were going to make an effort to reduce the taxes to 35%. Utilization of our reserve funds would be used up to a maximum of $3 million. And the funds would be used solely to pay off existing long-term debt if possible, and reduce short-term debt connected to construction, the wastewater treatment plant. When I went through the budget originally submitted by the department heads, it seemed that that type of a decrease would not be sustainable. It was not only sustainable, but it was impractical. And I blame myself for making part of that decision. Our goal to achieve a 35% reduction was unrealistic based on the fact that we were not expecting any unexpected expenses to occur between August and now. Having found out in the last 4 months that the village is faced with another $5 million in improvements at the wastewater treatment plant, which will benefit the village in income down the road. We have to be prepared for that, and we need to put money aside for those improvements. Realistically, also, we were caught, you might say, a little bit off guard by the expenses to maintain and provide utility costs to the village's new wastewater treatment plant. And they're coming in at a cost which we did not anticipate. At the same time, the village's debt service for this year has been reduced as we did retire 2 debts that we anticipated doing in that original resolution. So when I presented the budget to the village board, it was a decrease of approximately 16%. The village board worked on the budget and they increased that decrease to 20%. The tax rate, again, that is lower for the village taxpayers than 10 years ago. I would like to think that I left the village in a far better place when I came in March 1914. This is the village's budget. This is a budget here, annual budget of $8,993.19. The amount of taxes that they collected at the time was about $217.14. And the surplus at the end of 1914 in the village coffers was $52.32. So it took 100 and some odd years to be at the point where we're at now, but the village board on their desk this evening, and anyone that's here would like calculations of the village's bank accounts as of January 31st, 2023. Every single account that the village has is listed here. And this shows over $1,064 that the village has put aside in reserves for specific purposes to be used in highway, fire, water main improvements, retirement, motor vehicle replacement, sanitary sewer systems, and compensated absences. We also have a reserve money market account that we put aside for the wastewater treatment plant improvements, which amounts to over $651,000. We have a checkbook balance at the end of January 31st of $3,340,000. And in the parking meter operating account that we put aside, which is basically our set surplus, we have $2.7 million, and that's where the $500,000 surplus will be drawn from. We also have an operating income in our water department of $970,545.91. Those are the checkbooks that we take out for payroll and things like that. So the village is in good financial condition. We're able to reduce the tax rate by 20%. I apologize that we weren't able to get to the 35%. I think we adopted that resolution in good faith, but we're also adopting this budget in good faith, knowing what expenses lie ahead for the village in the next couple of years in wastewater treatment and in modernizing our pump station down at Shepherd Park. So that's an overview of the entire budget. And now I'll take questions from anybody in the audience or anyone on Zoom that has any questions on any of those items pertaining to the village budget alone. Anybody here in the audience? Well, as we usually do in some instances, we go on, we have just a couple of very short items on the a regular agenda. We'll hold open the public hearing on the budget. Remember that tonight we're actually holding a public hearing on the general fund budget, which is the budget we spoke about that's going down by $1.03 or approximately 20%. Our water fund budget, which is the bills that you get quarterly throughout the year for the use of water, depending upon your usage through the water meters. And there is no increase in that water fund. And then the special assessment district budget, which is a special assessment district we set up when we built the lakefront walkway, which gives us the right to tax the people where the walkway goes in front of. So they are the only people that's paying for that. And there is no increase in the special assessment district budget for the lakefront walkway. The three items, I guess, in the regular meeting. Members of the school district came to me last week and informed me that they have started what they're saying is a very successful fishing club. It's got many members, many of the students that are not able to participate or don't want to participate, and many of the other sports have joined the fishing club. They started it last spring. The village allowed them to use our public docks to fish off of. They said it was extremely successful. They've got more people joining all the time, and the young people have discussed the possibility of buying themselves a modest fishing boat. They wondered if they bought a fishing boat, if we would give them the right to dock it at one of our public docks or our docks on Amherst Street only during school in session, which would mean the boat would be there in the spring and would be there in the fall. I told them that I would bring it up tonight. They don't want the young people to go ahead or to raise money for a boat, knowing what it costs today to dock a boat. And when they talked about a boat, they said it would be a very modest fishing boat. It would not be a 26, 28-foot long vessel. It would be something that the students could possibly buy themselves. I would tell the board that obviously we have the 6 public docks, and we have the 2 docks on Lower Amherst Street, and the town has 1 dock. Our dock is occupied by the floating classroom and the fireboat. And the last couple of years, the sheriff has used a boat at our dock, and the Lake George Park Commission has used the docks that the town has. Presumably, they both could use that. So there is a slip there, if the board decides that's where you want them. But also, you have the public docks, which don't get busy, obviously, until the summer. So they wanted some sort of a confirmation from the village board tonight as to whether you would agree to provide some space for them. I'm assuming free of charge to dock a boat once if they go ahead and purchase it.
Where do you think is best?
I think if they could fit it in at the foot of Amherst Street.
I was kind of thinking
Yeah,
that too.
be safer.
Well, yeah, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, but
Do they,
the way those
yeah,
those docks, they're great short term, but they, you get a north wind and that
Public dock.
our public docks on
Right.
Beach Road. Boats taking off.
Closer to school.
Yeah, to the school as well.
School.
Is there overlap when the sheriff's boat's there and they would be needing it, so that, is there overlap when the sheriff needs to be there and the fishing boat would need to be there?
Well, he puts his boat in, and so does the others right away as soon as they can, but as they say, the town dock is still there. For many years, no one was at the town dock. The assessor would use it when they went out to assess the things. I'm sure the sheriff doesn't care. He would move his boat over if necessary. But last year I noticed that most part, the sheriff's boat docked at our dock and the park commission docked at, so there was 2 spots actually. Between Dennis, between the town dock
Mhm.
and the village dock, I would assume there'd be space there.
I mean, if the town is willing to let one of the other, you go to the sheriff's department, park on their dock, and then once the school is out, and.
we still have, there's empty spots. There's 2 empty
Yeah,
spots.
there's still,
Yeah,
room.
there's 3 docks, so that's 6 slips. So that makes,
At one time, the
Okay.
sheriff had 2, the sheriff had 2 boats there, but only had 1, I think, last year. Park commission at one time had 2, but they only had 1 last year. Mr. Shutt.
I know the docks pretty well. The people working on, I think, milfoil or invasive species, where they dock their boats. I think one of those docks, they could easily utilize one of those as well. The one closest to the shoreline,
yeah,
the public docks.
You mean the public docks?
Yeah. public
Yeah,
docks.
well, even in the spring, when the police come,
they do the
they
training.
all park at our dock, but there's no one there then. This is like early in May.
Yeah.
And they're not their weekends. That I told him, he knowing that the board is gonna switch, he wanted some resolution if we could. And I'll take a motion to the effect of whatever you wanna do, so that they'd be assured that they're gonna have a space before they proceed, to even think about purchasing a boat.
Mayor, do they dedicate like certain part of the day or, the hours that they're gonna do their?
Yeah,
their-
it's the end of the day, they said, just like a class,
Okay,
but they'd be responsible for it.
Okay.
They'd insure it, everything else, it would be
As long
their
as
boat.
the operator has.
No different than
Boater safety, of course.
no different than the Lake George Park, Lake George Association floating classroom,
Right.
which is huge.
right.
And that's been there for years, and the village has never charged them either.
I'll make a motion, we allow the school to use the docks at the foot of Amherst Street free of charge while school is in session. And that all captains or operators have their boater safety course and can keep a copy on file at the village hall.
Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by trustee Joe. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We have two items here for resolutions. The first is support the local government. Well, the first is Atherton Painting and Renovations. I'll take. That's the contract that Keith said you got quotes on, and he wants to start as soon as he can, so that's why I put it on.
Yeah, he should be actually starting between now and the end of this week. Yeah, that's
And the money's in this year's budget.
correct.
Glad to see they're painting that door because that really looks bad. That door gets a lot of sunbeam.
It does.
The first attempt didn't really work. It must have been like blacked it or something in that.
Yeah,
Peel off and whatever.
we'll have to see what kind of treatment we can put on
Yeah,
that
it's not
because of that
gonna be easy.
reason, because of that reason.
That's not gonna be.
Were you gonna do the fire station wood trim in-house? or-
I have, money in this upcoming budget for that, which to repair some of the stone work pillars and then also some of the trim work that's on the exterior of the windows. And I put money in there for this year in the buildings code.
I just wondered if you could get a price from this Atherton, whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna,
You know, same time they're up here.
yep, I was gonna have them do a walk around with me in the whole bit.
Get some good bullet pictures. I looked at it this past week and it needs it bad,
Yeah,
especially on the back, porch area, that whole railing is
getting pretty rough.
black.
Yeah, and that's why we wanna attack it as soon as we can, along with, again, some of the stonework is failing as well.
I wonder when people design buildings like that and they put that type of wood out there, like the visitor center, if they realize the maintenance that's required to that type of material after you put it in, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of a one and done for them. It's us people that have to.
Yeah.
fight
It looks
it.
nice.
They change their number after the
It
job's
looks
over.
nice when you get it, but it doesn't look good
Right,
after a while.
Was it treated from the beginning or not treated at all?
it's never been treated, the
Yeah.
visitor center has never been treated.
Okay.
So we're gonna do.
They advised us not to when we got it.
Correct, but they have a lot of new, products now that are, basically a preservative. You can put a tint to it if need be. And we'll have to see what the coloration is after it's pressure washed first, and we can, determine if we want to put a clear satin type, preservative or a tint to it. There was a couple of recommendations from, Sherwin-Williams, where we get a lot of product from, so I have some ideas on that as well. And I think it'll be, once we get it pressure washed, we can make some more determination on that. And then go from there.
We'll take a motion on awarding the bid to Atherton Painting for the visitor center. Motion by trustee Ruth. There's a second? Seconded by trustee Earl.
I believe what he's looking for at this point is authorization to get paid,
Correct,
First
yes.
payment.
the first payment of $9,000
Um,
prior to the audit. So he's looking to get paid with the next payroll instead
Yes,
of
but
waiting till the
again,
audit.
prior to beginning the job.
No,
well, no, that's why he's supposed to be
So
starting
he
this
wants to
week.
start the job
This week.
but he doesn't want to wait too long.
Yeah,
But I was gonna say, I'm not sure it's legal to pay anyone in advance for any type of.
no, he's fully aware he's gonna start the project.
He'll have done a lot
Yeah.
of work. Okay, there's a motion second. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed nay. Motion's carried. The other two are resolutions that we just received. The first is from Senator Jerry Delaney, who is the head of the Adirondack Association of Towns and Villages. This is the bill opposing the redistricting of the assembly districts in the state of New York. And it's they didn't attach it, but basically they're just asking that the district be revised back to what they were before. And the second one is, Adirondack Park Agency, large subdivision permit application. That they're, saying, they would like to leave the same. The proposed legislation amends the Adirondack Park Agency Act, which has been in effect for 50 years. And whereas major Adirondack Park Agency permit applications projects are changed, they're insisting that they have a hearing so that property owners have an opportunity to understand and comment on the proposed local law will affect their property values. I don't see any reason not to support either one of them, particularly the park agency just going ahead and trying to change the subdivision permit application without property owners knowing what effect it's going to have on their property throughout the Adirondack Park. Seems pretty logical.
I Googled that bill, and it's A04608. And summary on that says, preserves ecological integrity, wildlife and open spaces in the Adirondack Park. Strengthens land use and development provisions in the Adirondack Park. So to curtail rural sprawl. That sounds like a good thing to me. So,
Yeah,
the favor of-
actually, I mean, if the board wants to, we don't have to take any action on either one of them. I haven't read the first one, so,
I didn't get through the-
yeah. Or just wanna, you can even table it till the next meeting.
Yeah, we supported this organization in the past.
The Adirondack Park, local park agency review, well, we're a member of it, yeah. We always have supported most of their resolutions. I didn't make the last meeting that they had here, but I know they discussed it, and there was overwhelming disappointment that they weren't gonna hold a public hearing. I guess, and that's what this says, is that they're asking that property owners have an opportunity to understand and comment on this. They're not particularly saying, but it does say the proposed law could eliminate the potential development on certain lands, which could be a taking without compensation. I guess they just don't want people infringing on their property.
Is that the one that we got, the A04608 one that we got?
Yeah.
I didn't read it in detail, but it did that, the summary.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
I'd say we table it till we know more. I make a motion.
There's a motion to table both. There's a second. Seconded by trustee Root. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That's all of the items that we had on the agenda, except we'll go back to, oh, okay, yes, Keith brought in something today that he wants to. Keith has got a bid on the 2012 Tahoe, which is the old Chief's car from a used car dealership in Mechanicville. For an amount of $6,700. Correct. Which I think we would all consider to be a good bid. And he would like us, if we can, to take some action on that this evening.
Now, is that still fully equipped or just whatever comes out, comes out?
Well, all the apparatus that was inside, controls and all that kind of stuff was removed. I think the fire company took some of that out prior. So it's pretty much a shell, it's a regular, just Tahoe now. Doesn't have all that.
No sirens and lights.
No, it still has the outside little strobe light, but that's okay. Yeah, and then we put it through our GovDeals auction site, so it was many bidders, and so this is what we came up with.
And also the identifications off it. too.
No, you're correct, yeah.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, we sell it to.
The motion to the highest bidder to declare the 2012 Tahoe surplus and sell it to the highest bidder at a cost of $6,700. There's a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Joe. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. The second item is the old voting machine, which is in this room over here that we use. We did a little research on it today and we found out that the reason it's still here is the Historical Museum would like to get it and put it on display. They don't use those anymore. They're pretty much antiques, I guess. And so in order to do that, in order to donate it to the Lake George Historical Museum, we would have to declare it scrap. And we would need a motion from the village board if that's what you wish to do. We called the County Board of Elections to see if there was any value to it, and they said,
Tessier is the only one that could make it work.
He's the only one who knew how to use it, yeah.
and he had a hard time.
Yeah.
Last few times.
Yeah, the key.
Still does.
It was suspect sometimes. Yeah. We'll take a motion on that if you'd like.
So,
Motion by trustee Perry. There's a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Joe. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Now we'll go back to the public hearing and close the public hearing on the budget and ask the board what your you would like to do with the general fund budget for June 223 to 224.
I guess we have nothing else to do, but just I make a motion that we accept the budget and move it along.
The motion by trustee Joe to approve the general fund budget. There's a second.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Earl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Water fund budget, 2023 to May 31st, 2024.
Make a motion to approve that.
Motion by trustee Earl to approve. Second,
Second.
seconded by trustee Root. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Special assessment district budget.
Make a motion to approve that.
Motion by trustee Earl. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Joe. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. I'll
a bunch in there.
close the budget. I closed the hearing before we took the vote. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Are there any other matters to bring attention to? Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn. Before I do, best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Thank you.
Make that motion. Make the motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by trustee Earl. The record for you folks, just, you might like to meet him.
So you will meet down here in this room?
Yeah, I think we'll probably meet him here.
Just,
It depends if, you know, if we're all here rather than go in the conference room.
I just thought he was
I
gonna say
know,
something
Mark
really
Mulholland